Hey Saggies, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot and welcome to your cards for May. So I'm running a little bit behind on my readings. We're already into the May 4th. I'm a little behind in my readings and starting to get really anxious about it. And then I just had to take that deep breath moment where I'm just I forgive myself. I feel like Saggies need to get in that energy this month too. I feel like May is, I have a progressed Sag moon, so there might be more to this than we're thinking. Follow me for a minute. I think May is asking you to stop doing things the way that you've always done them. And, take those words of wisdom and apply them in various places, okay? The way that you do work, the way that you do relationships, maybe the way that you deal with children. All in all, I think May is best served by experimenting with the new. I think in any way, shape, or form, whatever you go after this month, whatever really has you moving mentally, physically, whatever it is, going about it in the same way that you always go about things may have to really change. You might be forced to relinquish some of those habits that aren't serving you and develop new ones. So here's the reality of it. We go through this major upheaval with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. The whole world seems to tense up, and then we're kind of forced indoors to take a nap. Now, let me tell you, I get it. I get that for some signs, this is really difficult. And I think it's a blessing that we're starting to open up a little, and I really do hope that this is a trend, that we're safe in doing so, and we could start to slowly re-emerge into society, of course. Because I think we're at a crucial part mentally with where we're all at. There's only a certain level where you could take society as a whole and hold them down. And, there's a little Sag in all of us. There's that area of our life where our freedom is so much more important than our material gains, than our stability sometimes. Just knowing that we can get up and move and make decisions for ourselves. Sagittarius get a bad rap of having commitment problems when actually it's really not commitment issues at all. Sagittarius are very loving and they're very giving and they're very easy. But if you limit them, if you tell a Sagittarius you can't, you shouldn't, you can't, it immediately sets fire inside, right? That need to go. I felt it creeping up so much last week. I even started to kind of peruse the travel websites. You get on Pinterest and kind of look at travel photos and, remember life. Remember road trips. Remember crappy hotels. I was just telling my girlfriends that I miss airplanes. I miss airports. The things that we dread in our lives, the little things that we have to do in order to do the things we really want to do. It's funny how you could start to miss those things that you thought you hated. Flying very often out of the local Cleveland Hopkins airport, you start to get to know the TSA officers and stuff and joke around with them. And I don't know, these faces were kind of floating back to me, these images, these people that I've crossed paths with. Nothing more than a morning smile and, but they're people in your lives. They're faces you remember if you ran into them somewhere else. You know, if they weren't wearing that TSA uniform, I don't know if I would know who they are. And yet, for a split minute, they're a significant part of our lives. And this whole arena, this whole area of freedom is being repressed and oppressed, right? And it could really have Saggies digging their heels in. Okay, 5 minutes in, sipping my morning coffee. You guys are probably in for it. But let's start with the cards. Oh, no, let's not. Because I also wanted to tell you, Sag, the nodes, the south node is moving into your sign. Like as if everything wasn't enough. And I think the end of... the end of 2018, right? Jupiter moving into Capricorn was sort of the beginning of all of this. Sag, I think back all the time to, remember when Jupiter was in Sag and everything was hopeful? And then Jupiter kind of moved into Capricorn and things look bleak. It's just, you don't have that optimism, that place that we all go where we know things are bound to get better. You know, that's my Jupiter. Well, if this isn't serving us, let's set fire to our souls and go on a journey and find something new. That kind of Jupiterian optimism has been so crushed in all this Capricorn Earth energy. Now I get it, because I'm also have a Capricorn rising, so that energy also serves its purpose, and we have to go with the flow of the universe in order to take advantage of what the universe has to offer. So what do we do when we can't find the optimism? What do we do when we can't remember how to search for the optimism? Well, sometimes we get stuck. And that's the story of May for you as the South Node starts to move from Capricorn into Sagittarius. And the North Node, by the way, is moving into Gemini, your 7th house of relationships. The heat is on. I went through this the past 2 years with the Cancer Capricorn. My Venus was in Cancer, along with the nodes. To make a long story short, maybe it should have been the other way. But people will come and go from your lives, and you will learn really profound lessons from these relationships, from these people. And that's what you're up for. Now, there's a lot of duality coming out in your cards, and I think that's a duality between this person you've become in the oppression of the Jupiter. That's how we're going to say it, the oppression of the Jupiter. And I feel like my Sages are going to get that. The you that you became when you were stuck. And then all of a sudden the memory of the old you, the old Jupiter, the old ability to explore, to look forward, to have that higher vision, and that optimistic faith. I think there's a remembrance. I think there's a remembrance of who the F you are, Sag, and I really like it for you. All right, let's get into this. You're coming out in your reading as a Prince of Discs. I would normally like that for some. There's a growing up energy and kind of an energy of, all right, this is the reality. How do we make it work? How do we build upon what we have, which is very little to none of what we had hoped for? How do you build on disappointment, right? There's a stubborn energy, like you're bound and determined. There's kind of this tunnel vision that I'm picking up on with this Prince of Discs. You have this goal. You actually have a to-do list. You have all of the tools that you need. The determination is certainly there. And I like this Prince of Discs because he appears naked, right? Like, what better way to go on a journey than completely naked? There's a sense of removing masks, of, I don't know, I'm hearing kind of like well, this is who I am, like it or not. This is who I am. But your environment is the Fool. Your environment is the leap of faith. Your environment, I always feel like the Fool is represented by Pisces. I know it's an Aries card, but I still always process it as a Pisces. So that's what you get from me. The old way of surrendering. The old way of going with the flow. To a certain extent, because the Fool goes on the journey, right? There's fire behind him. There's the motivation to go. And remember, the Fool doesn't pack a lot of stuff with him. And he's kind of, especially this Fool, ignoring the things that are going on around him, kind of ignoring the chaos and continuing to move forward. Now, the first week of May, you're coming out as the Seven of Wands, ending in the Hermit energy. Is that like this? Seven of Wands is that elbow grease, that determination that you need to see something through, the fight to the end. But there's aggravation with it. And for some reason, I feel like your aggravation is with others in the month of May. I feel like you're meeting a lot of resistance, which is why you're coming out as that Seven of Wands, like prepared to slay the day, right? But the outcome is a Hermit card, so that tells me one of two things. You're met with a lot of resistance, which exhausts you, or you're met with a lot of resistance, which makes you have to put the wands down, rethink your plan. Go within and re-strategize with that Hermit energy. You may be dealing with a Virgo. You may be dealing with a lot of noise and stuff, maybe in the workplace, maybe in relationships, maybe people in general are demanding a lot from you. And you are standing your ground in a way in which you've predetermined what and who is going to get your energy, and nothing's going to change that. I think sudden things that come up may really throw my Sages off. And again, there's a need to know when to go in and rest, to take a nap, take a beat, take a meditation moment. Knowing that you can only put in as much as you give to yourself, guys. So again, we're getting back into that self-care tank. This is coming up for a lot of my signs in the month of May. I don't know if it's a weather breaking or just having the ability to get out now and do the things that makes us want to do all of the things. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're really going to be met with a lot of resistance if we continue on. Now, you got 12th house stuff happening this month. You've got a full moon in Scorpio. Full moon in your 12th house could give you, in that first week, the need for some seclusion and some real deep thought about the way your life is going, it can make you kind of move into that Fool energy. But there's some healing to do first. And Page of Pentacles is your challenge card. So the challenge card is focus. The challenge card is learning, you know, because my pages are always new. They're always new. There's always young energy around it. Something or someone new in your life. Somebody younger than you. It could be a child. It could be a coworker. It could be a lover who's coming off. And I don't see it, like Page of Pentacles is not an immature energy at all. In fact, it's mature for their age. And it's about focus. It's about where do you want to plant your seed. It's about what do you want to invest in now. A challenge might be seeing where you want to invest. Others may be waiting for you to make some kind of an offer or an investment in them. And in that, I don't think your cards are on the table, Sag. You're kind of holding the info to yourself. Why? Because I don't think you know. I feel like my Saggies know they're in an element of rapid change. And you are. Because you have Venus retrograding your 7th house, Gemini, and she's retrograding and making squares to Neptune. So literally, you don't know. You're in an environment where you're sensing that change could happen rapidly. And I think you feel the need to fight for yourself a little, fight for your place. And not really knowing what stability is. It's kind of searching for that stability in kind of the storm, right? The Hermit comes out next to the Hanged Man, and the 7 of Wands comes out next to the Page of Swords. Communication is going to be rapid, and it's going to put you on the defensive. Some people, even, you know, coworkers might say, hey, have you had a chance to look at this file yet? And you're immediately shooting off in the, no, I didn't. I didn't get a chance. In fact, I'm so behind. I'm not going to get to look at your file for the next 2 weeks. There's just like this truthfulness in where you're at, Sag. Careful. Don't be too biting, okay? Page of Swords, I think they're just truthful. But people might be really looking to you for stability. They might be really leaning on you for your motivation and your energy that you bring, your optimism. And I don't think in the first half of May that Sag has it to share. You know, they can't really spread it around right now. They really need it for them. Because they're making big decisions right now in the middle of this really unknown territory. Hanged Man energy. Yeah, this comes out when your perspective is about to change drastically. Oh, good, right? That sounds simple. Well, it is simple if you are in the Fool energy and you're kind of allowing the universe to show you what to do and where to go next. But if you're in the Prince of Discs energy where you think you know better than the universe or you think your idea is the ultimate, then the Hangman energy can be a little bit rough for you and you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck in that hermit mode where you don't feel comfortable expressing yourself, expressing your emotions. And your challenge card is Strength. This is where things start to turn around for Sag. This is a breaking point where you start to realize people might be taking advantage of you. People are asking too much of you, and you could fight through this energy, or you can allow the enlightenment. And the enlightenment kind of needs to happen right now. The Strength card as your challenge card. That means you're about to see all the ways in which your ego doesn't serve you well. There's the T. If you're trying to control situations, they're going to backfire, and it's going to frustrate the shit out of you, and it's going to exhaust you. I'm picking up on Sages that keep trying to do the same thing over and over again, really honestly putting themselves in a place of complete exhaustion before they succumb to the energy of release, of going with the flow. The second week, the Hanged Man, the enlightenment, the knowing there's a need to change your ways. Third week now, things start really moving. This is when the retrograde happens. This is when not only Venus, but your ruling planet Jupiter goes stations as well. The energies are intense for you. Intense because you need to be really optimistic about things that are coming into you, things that you value, things that will stick around for a really long time. And you don't see them yet. And there's definitely a level of impatience that's brewing. Why? Because you're still holding on. Four of Pentacles. Sag, are you avoiding sharing something with others? Remember, it doesn't just have to be financial or energy-wise. You know, you may be in a holding format in your life. It could be withholding information. It could be withholding emotions. It could just be holding a whole lot of things in. I'm picking up on a stoicism because that fourth month, the fourth week, the whole second half of the month kind of flows in together. However devoted you are to your creativity and your passions, the better it goes. But if you give in to the rigidity of life, that Capricorn energy, okay, we're really going to spend some time on this card. And I may actually run some clarifying cards on there because I think that's the point of everything right there. There's impatience. You are waiting, you're waiting to make decisions, you're waiting for clarity, you're waiting for better weather. I don't know what you're waiting for. But the waiting is actually starting to drive you crazy. Because this is not your typical energy, right? Like, you could be chill, you could be zen, you could be the Hanged Man. That's okay for Sag. It's okay, but it's not ideal because you like movement. And right now, we're just simply not in an element of movement. Things aren't happening rapidly. Things aren't really moving in the directions that you had hoped they would. You're not seeing the progress you thought you would. Like I said, Prince of Discs kind of has this energy where you already wrote the script. You predetermined how everything is going to go. And now you're real frustrated with things not going that way. People not cooperating. You know, it could be like insignificant things over and over again. Like every time you plan on going out and like doing the landscaping or the yard work, but day after day it's crappy weather and you can't get it done. And there's just a level of impatience coming through at the end of the month. But it points to this. We're all manifesting now. right? We're all really in that manifesting mode. Things aren't happening outward yet because we're still creating them in our mind. And watch what you're doing here, because this energy is bothering me so much. This energy right here. You're waiting and waiting and waiting for something that seems to not be coming. That Four of Wands, that stability that you're longing for, that happiness. The Four of Wands is partnership on all levels. It's friendship and love and passion. It's commitment. It's marriage. It's the future being planned. And I don't know, sometimes I think some Saggies are in an element where the planning of the future, you've become a slave to this picture you've created for yourself. You're so predetermined for this outcome that you actually, I think the outcome becomes the devil energy. You're so unwilling to look at other ways of doing things, other ways of the way things could play out, that you're missing opportunities. How do I know you're missing opportunities? You never really want to get a Wheel of Fortune in your challenge card. Wheel of Fortune in the challenge card is the universe attempting to give you what you want, to deliver what you asked for, what you prayed for, what you're hoping for. And you going, no, I don't want it. No, it's not good enough. No, I asked for blue interior. No, I wanted different shoes. And the universe is like, really? Really? You know? Or I love that story of the guy who was drowning and somebody, you know, a boat comes by and he throws out a life preserver. And the guy's getting really tired and he says, no, thanks. God's going to save me. And they're like, okay. And the next boat goes by, same thing. He won't take the help. He won't take the help. Well, I mean, the outcome is the guy doesn't survive, right? Because the universe keeps coming by and saying, all right, we got you. Let's go this way. And you're like, no, it's not what I asked for. Your feeling frustration in the month of May is directly correlated to the frustration that the universe feels with you. Okay? Sag, you gotta step out of that comfort zone. You gotta let things unfold. You have to start to implement that Page of Swords mentality where you can kind of explore and create and be honest and learn new things about yourself and learn new things about the people around you. Things don't have to be so black and white. Things don't have to be so rigid. The devil is what's holding you back. There's a feeling of like having to be so responsible and rigid in your way of going about getting the things that you want. And your overall energy is a Seven of Pentacles, meaning that you're continually looking at the things in your life and feeling like there has to be more. There has to be more. There has to be more to life than this. And yet every time the universe hands you more, you say, no, that's not what I asked for. you got to get open. You got to get into this taking leap of faith. You've got to take advantage of what the universe keeps handing to you. I pulled some sexual magic tarot cards for you because especially my Sages, there's a lot of energy pouring into that Gemini 7th house. There is going to be an emphasis on partnerships here. And an emphasis on how you need to go about partnerships in a different way. Now, these cards are kind of explicit, so I don't really like to hold them up in detail to show you. I certainly don't want the video to be flagged by YouTube at all. But I will say you got the King of Chalices, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands. Which is a lot like the 7 of Wands energy in the Rider-Waite Tarot. There's a relationship and a partnership that I think has fallen into a comfort zone. I see that with the King of Chalices. There's a good repertoire. There's a friendship. There's a flirtiness. There's a real partnership there. King of Cups is always in protection mode, so you may be feeling the need to protect someone. Maybe you want to protect someone. Maybe someone needs your protection. Someone needs your emotional investment, and they need your attention. And the 7 of Pentacles is kind of that area of satisfaction and exhaustion from working it out. And the 5 of Wands tells me that I feel like you take action. I feel like you turn it around. If relationships begin to feel mundane, take a step back. Watch how these people interact with other people in their lives. Ooh, I don't know where that came from. Watch how people interact with other important people in their lives, because it might hold a lot of information. If this is somebody that you're trying to move the relationship into a higher direction, you know, the idea of expansion while Jupiter is retrograde, you know, you might be coming up on this, okay, where is this going? How does this fit in my future kind of area? And try not to make any big decisions while Venus is retrograde, okay? That goes for commitments or for breaking up. You know, if you're in a relationship and things are starting to feel oppressive or mundane, less exciting, again, take a step back. Take a step back and invite new ways to go about this partnership. Walking away from it abruptly is not the answer, because you'll regret it. Anything that's done abruptly in a retrograde phase, and it's not just Venus that's retrograde, you know, it's energy that's better used in reviewing where you've come so far, what you've experienced for the past. These themes come up in our life for healing, right? So you may want to look to your old relationships and why they didn't work. Heck, you might even be hearing from an ex who gives you perspective that says something to you like, oh, well, when we were together, you always did this and it drove me crazy. And you're like, wait, what? I did what? And all of a sudden you see something from a different perspective, and then you realize maybe it's that little thing that you need to tweak within yourself that kind of strips away any of the resistance that's coming from your partner. Either way, we're going to learn from our past during these next couple of months. We're going to heal things from our past. We're going to learn and understand things better from our past. It's all part of the plan, and I think that's where you're at within this partnership too. Oh, you know what? I just want to see if they, yep, there it is. I knew it. I knew I wanted to clarify that Devil card. You are selling yourself short, Sag. You're the only one who's doing it. You're holding yourself down. The universe trying to hand you the world. And you're looking at it and going, no. No, it's too scary. I'm gonna stay in this bubble here. I'm gonna stay where I can't move and things don't work out because I'm really comfortable here. When the nodes move into your sign, you don't get to be comfortable anymore. In fact, it's all about really slowly getting you out of that comfort zone. The world is opening up to you. New opportunities, new cycles, okay? Things aren't going to go the way that they used to go. You're breaking that wheel. You're breaking that devil energy. It's time to do things differently. Your Untethered Soul Oracle card. What if consciousness were to remove its focus from your personal set of thoughts, your personal set of emotions, and your limited sensory input? Would you become untethered from the bonds of the personal self and be set free to explore beyond? You may be leaving a relationship because it's time to explore what else is out there. That's okay. If it's a relationship that makes you feel oppressed, in which you can't express yourself, you feel that it compromises your freedom, then by all means, go and explore. And I'm not telling you you can't break up. I'm just telling you to be careful in the way that you go about it. Do not burn bridges. Do not get emotionally tied to strangers because they may not be here to stay. They're just simply here to open you up to new energies. That's all. That's all. Just know that the energy in May is fluid and it's best to go with the flow. Tying anyone down with commitments now will probably lead to a lot of resistance, even in jobs. From nothing to everything, 16, card of 16 breaking down to a 7, my card of divine intervention. Wherever you are resistant, things will be removed from you. For sure, I feel like I've been talking to my Sages about this for a little while right now. From nothing to everything. I want to read this to you. Have you been shedding your skins, your layers, your certainties? Gone are fixed identities and definite opinions. Keep casting those shackles aside, even if you fear you are releasing too much, and then perhaps you shall cease to exist. You shall only cease to exist as you have known yourself to be thus far. Another emanation of you awaits, something more beautiful and true. See? There's a lot of energy where you're losing. I think you're moving out of the Prince of Discs energy, where you're trying to control situations out of fear of change, and you're just stepping into that leap of faith energy. Yet here you are at the pruning stage, like a gardener for the soul. Shall the garden spring back to life, or will the enthusiastic denuding process be rather too much and unintentionally kill off the garden altogether? Fear not, your soul is made of hardy stuff. It can handle a lot of culling and will shine even brighter for it. The emotional tensions are serving you this month. They're really asking you, like I said, strength card being your challenge card, your ego, you have to change your perspective. Not everything is a threat to your existence. Change can be welcome. There are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts at control. We may feel as though we are being stripped back to our core, and even then perhaps further still. We may wonder if we can bear it. We shall, if at all, remain intact through these rigors. We may feel challenged every time we attempt to become something great, as though we are blocked by circumstances beyond our control. Again and again, it is as though a greater hand smacks our wrist the moment we try to take hold of something firmly, someone, anything that brings us certainty or inner stability. Such are the rigors at an advanced stage on the path. We meet this challenge when our soul is ready for it. Wow, I've got goosebumps, Sag. I kind of had a feeling this was going to be a big reading for you guys. Surrender, let go, explore. That's your assignment for May. Don't get so set on your expectations of others. This is all about you and what you're creating. And the universe is willing to play with you and give you what you want. So be careful. Be careful with what you want. All right, Sag. I'll probably see you next Monday. And until then, hang in there. Hang with this energy. Stay strong through that full moon. But really, let those emotions come through, because I think you're going to see pieces of yourself that help you understand yourself better. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful month of May. Wish you the best of luck. Bye.